No, not my fault. No, we'd like to get the peace. It should have happened a long time ago. The Ukraine war with Russia should have never happened. If I were president, it never would have happened. We're trying to get it ended. One way or the other, we have to get it ended. So well, then he can continue. Then he can continue to fight his little heart out.
Right now is one of the most difficult moments in our history. Right now, the pressure on Ukraine is among the greatest we've ever faced. Now, Ukraine may be facing a very difficult choice, either the loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner, either a complicated 28 points or an extremely hard winter, the hardest yet, and further risks. A life without freedom, without dignity, without justice. And for us to trust the one who has already attacked us twice. We do not make loud statements. We will calmly work with America and all our partners. There will be a constructive search for solutions with our main partner.
The United States and Russia have put together a 28-point plan aimed at ending the Russia-Ukraine war, a framework that would require Kyiv to partly surrender both weapons and territory. Although Washington has not officially unveiled the proposal, and Moscow has publicly denied that it exists, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy confirmed on Thursday that his office has received the draft. According to reports, the broad 28-point document echoes many of the demands Moscow issued shortly after launching its full-scale invasion in early 2022. The draft was allegedly developed by Russian and U.S. officials with backing from Trump, while Kyiv was excluded from the process altogether. On Friday morning, Trump stated that next Thursday, the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday, would be an acceptable deadline for Zelenskyy to sign the deal, which European and Ukrainian officials have characterized as a capitulation. Delivering a somber 10-minute address outside his presidential palace, Zelenskyy said his country faced an impossible decision. It could maintain its national dignity or risk losing a crucial ally in the form of a U.S. administration that appears intent on concluding the conflict on Moscow's harsh terms. A very difficult choice, either loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner, the United States.
Ukrainians, men and women, in the life of every nation, there comes a moment when everyone needs to speak honestly, calmly, without speculation, rumors, gossip, or anything unnecessary. Just as things are, just as I always try to speak with you. Right now is one of the most difficult moments in our history. Right now, the pressure on Ukraine is among the greatest we've ever faced. Now, Ukraine may be facing a very difficult choice, either the loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner, either a complicated 28 points or an extremely hard winter, the hardest yet, and further risks. A life without freedom, without dignity, without justice. And for us to trust the one who has already attacked us twice. They will be expecting an answer from us. Although, in fact, I already gave it on May 20th, 2019, when, swearing allegiance to Ukraine, I specifically said, I, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, elected by the will of the people as President of Ukraine, pledge with all my actions to defend the sovereignty and independence of Ukraine, to uphold the rights and freedoms of citizens, to abide by the Constitution and laws of Ukraine, to fulfill my duties in the interests of all compatriots, and to raise the authority of Ukraine in the world. For me, this is not just a protocol formality, not just a box to check. This is an oath. And every day I remain faithful to every word of it. I will never betray it. The national Ukrainian interest must be taken into account. We do not make loud statements. We will calmly work with America and all our partners. There will be a constructive search for solutions with our main partner. I will present arguments, I will persuade, I will offer alternatives, but we will certainly not give the enemy any reason to say that Ukraine does not want peace, that it is Ukraine disrupting the process, or that Ukraine is not ready for diplomacy. That will not happen. Ukraine will work quickly. Today, on Saturday and Sunday, all of next week, and for as long as it takes. Around the clock, I will fight to ensure that at least 2 points are not omitted from the plan. This is the dignity and freedom of Ukrainians, because everything else is based on this: our sovereignty, our independence, our land, our people, and the Ukrainian future. We will and must do everything so that in the end the war ends, but not Ukraine, not Europe, and not global peace. I have just spoken with Europeans. We are counting on our European friends who clearly understand that Russia is not somewhere far away, that it is right next to the EU borders, that Ukraine is now the only shield separating comfortable European life from Putin's plans. We remember Europe was with us. We believe Europe will be with us. Ukraine must not experience a déjà vu of February 24th, when it felt like we were alone, when no one could stop Russia except for our heroic people who stood as a wall against Putin's army. And of course, we were very pleased when the world said, Ukrainians, they are incredible. My God, what Ukrainians they are, how they fight, how Ukrainians resist, what titans they are. And that's true. Absolutely. But Europe and the whole world must also understand another truth, that Ukrainians are, above all, people. And for almost 4 years of the full-scale invasion, we have been holding back one of the largest armies in the world. And we are holding a front line that stretches for several thousand kilometers. And our people endure shelling, missile attacks, ballistic strikes, and Shahed drone attacks every night. And our people lose someone close to them every day. And our people very, very much want this war, this terrible war, to end. Of course, we are made of steel, but even the strongest metal can eventually break. Don't forget this. Stand with Ukraine. Stand with our people, and therefore stand with dignity and freedom. Dear Ukrainians, remember that first day of the war? Most of us made a conscious and deliberate choice, a choice in favor of supporting Ukraine. Remember how we all felt back then, in those important and unforgettable moments. What was it like? It was dark, loud, hard, painful for many, and frightening. But the enemy did not see our backs fleeing. They saw our eyes, full of readiness to fight for what is ours. And that is dignity. That is freedom. And in fact, this is the scariest thing for Russia, to see the unity of Ukrainians. Back then, our unity was aimed at protecting our home from the enemy. And now we need unity just as much as ever, so that there can be a dignified peace in our home. I am now addressing all Ukrainians. Our people, citizens, politicians, everyone. We need to pull ourselves together, get a grip, and stop the infighting. Stop the political games. The state must function, and the parliament of a country at war must work in unity. The government of a country at war must work effectively, and all of us, all together, must not forget or confuse who exactly is Ukraine's enemy today. I remember how, on the first day of the war, various messengers brought me different plans, points, and ultimatums regarding ending the war. They said either this way or not at all. Either you sign this, or you will simply be eliminated. And then the acting president of Ukraine will sign it instead of you. How that ended is well known. Many of these messengers became part of the exchange fund, and along with their proposals and points were sent back home to their native harbor. I did not betray Ukraine then. I truly felt the support of each and every one of you behind me. Every Ukrainian man and woman, every soldier, every volunteer, every medic, diplomat, journalist, all of our people. We did not betray Ukraine then, and we will not do so now. And I know for certain that in this, truly one of the most difficult moments in our history, I am not alone. That Ukrainians believe in their state, that we are united. And in all formats of future meetings, discussions, and negotiations with our partners, it will be much, much easier for me to achieve a just peace for us and to persuade them, knowing 100% the people of Ukraine are behind me. Millions of our people who have dignity, who are fighting for freedom, and who have earned peace. All our fallen heroes who gave their lives for Ukraine, who are now in heaven and deserve to see that their children and grandchildren will live in a just peace. And this peace will be worthy, effective, and lasting. Dear Ukrainians, the coming week will be very challenging, full of events. You are a mature, intelligent, and conscious people who have proven this more than once, and who understand that during this time there will be a lot of pressure, political, informational, and of all kinds, to weaken us, to sow discord among us. The enemy does not sleep and will do everything possible to ensure that we do not succeed. We have no right to let them do this. And we will succeed. Because those who seek to destroy us know little about us. They do not understand who we really are, what we stand for, what we are about, and what kind of people we are. It is not for nothing that we celebrate the Day of Dignity and Freedom as a national holiday. This speaks to who we are and what our values are. We will work on the diplomatic front for the sake of our peace. We must work together within Ukraine for the sake of our peace, for our dignity, for our freedom. And I believe and I know that I am not alone. With me are our people, our society, our warriors, our partners, our allies. All our people are dignified, free, and united. Happy Day of Dignity and Freedom. Glory to Ukraine.